Good morning, everybody. How do you feel today? Say it loud so you can hear how you feel. Let me hear it. Thank you for sharing how you feel. My name is Mr. Channing. Would you like to read a book with me today? I have a book I'd like to read with you. This book is called Far Apart, Close in Heart. Being a family when a loved one is incarcerated. We're going to talk about what that word means in just a minute. Written by Becky Birtha, illustrated by Maja Kastelic, and published by Albert Whitman & Company and read with permission. Incarcerated. Incarcerated means that somebody is in jail, or in prison, or in a detention center. Sometimes you might hear people use other words. You might hear people say something like behind bars. Jail is a complicated thing to talk about. Complicated means a lot of things are true all at the same time. You might like to play superheroes when you're playing out on the playground with your friends, or with your siblings, or with your cousins. And what do superheroes do? They take bad guys and they put them in jail. They lock them up. But you might also have people in your family, people that you love very much, who have been to jail or who are in jail now. That happened to me when I was a kid. I was older than you are now, but I was not a grown-up yet. I remember I felt very complicated about it. I felt a lot of ways all at the same time. And you might also know that there are many people who are heroes that we talk about today. People like Martin Luther King, people like Rosa Parks. They went to jail too, and they are heroes. So like I said, jail is complicated. A lot of things are true all at the same time. And you might have a lot of feelings about those things. Or you might have a friend who's having those feelings, and you want to help them out, be a good friend to them. Would you like to read this book with me? I'd like to read it with you. Far Apart, Close in Heart. Children and parents can't always live together. Parents may have to go away, and sometimes stay away for a long time. That's what happens when a parent goes to jail or prison. Lots of children have a parent behind bars. That's true. I see this kid here. This kid is not behind bars. This kid is outside in a park. And I see a squirrel, 2 birds, and a lot of flowers and trees. And I see this kid holding a letter. Do you think that letter is for one of those kids' parents? You think that kid wrote a letter to one of their grown-ups? I think so. When your mom or dad goes to jail, you can have all kinds of feelings. You may have different feelings at the same time. Remember we talked about feeling complicated. Or one big feeling may push all the others away. This is Lacey. You want to hear about Lacey? Lacey feels okay in the daytime when she can play with her friends, but lonely and scared at night when she's by herself in her room. Have you ever felt like that? Do you know how Lacey feels? This is Rashid. Can you see how Rashid feels? Rashid is angry with his mom. The last time she got out of jail, she promised him she was home to stay. Then she broke another law and had to go back to jail. Have you heard that before? Broke a law, breaking the law? Sometimes you might hear people talk about breaking a rule. Well, a law is like a rule for grown-ups, and a law is something that a police officer is in charge of, a police officer and a judge and a lot of other people. And sometimes when grown-ups break a law, it means that they have to go to jail. Sometimes when they break a rule, they have to go to jail. Juana feels torn apart. What does that mean, torn apart? Like a piece of paper being torn? Being torn up? Does that sound nice? I don't think so. I wouldn't like to feel like that. Her papi is already in prison when her mommy gets arrested. Juana and her siblings, her brothers and sisters, go to live in different homes because nobody can take them all. Saying so many goodbyes hurts. I have some people in my family who were adopted. That means they live with different parents than just their mom and dad. They have a lot of feelings about it. We're going to talk more about Juana in a little bit, and I'll tell you about people in my family too. If your dad or mom is in prison, you probably have questions. Simple questions can have easy answers, but other questions are harder to answer. It may even be hard to ask. Have you ever felt like that? Like you had a question that was very hard to even ask? This is Yen. How does Yen feel? Confused? Or she's not sure what to do or what to say? Yen has questions that she doesn't want to ask anyone but her mother. Her father gives her paper and a pencil. Yen writes. Do you want to hear what Yen writes to her mom? Yen writes, "Why are you there? Is it my fault? When are you coming home? Do you still love me?" They mail the letter to her mother. And I see here there's some pencil shavings from where she was sharpening her pencil, some stamps to go on the letter. I think I might see a picture of her mom up here too, on the wall behind her. We're going to see Yen again later too. Now, sometimes kids get picked on. Is that true? Are some kids bullies? Do some kids act like bullies sometimes? Everybody acts like a bully sometimes. It's true. When we say we acting like a bully, we mean treating somebody else like they don't matter. Is it nice to act like a bully? No. But it happens. When other kids hear about Raphael's papa, they ask questions. What did he do? How many years did he get? Raphael feels embarrassed that he doesn't know the answers. If you don't know how to answer, you can find different ways to respond. Raphael says, "I don't want to talk about it." Is that an okay thing to say? Yeah. It's your story. It happened to you. You decide what happens with your story, and if you share it or not. I do want to say, I don't think these kids are acting like bullies right now. I think these kids are just asking questions. But Raphael still decides what he wants to say and what he does not want to say. When you have a parent in prison or jail, sometimes friends act differently. The boys on Jermaine's team, what kind of team is this, do you think? Are they playing a sport? Are they playing a game? Are they playing basketball? Yeah, I think so. Do you like playing basketball? Like putting the ball through the hoop? Mm-hmm. The boys on Jermaine's team call him names. You think that's nice, to call somebody mean names because someone in their family is in jail? Doesn't sound nice to me. Jermaine is glad their coach puts a stop to that really fast. What do you think this coach says? You think this coach says, "Be respectful," or "Mind your own business," or "I don't want to hear anybody being mean"? Mm-hmm. Emily's friend, Tina, won't play with her anymore. Tina says her mother told her to stay away from Emily. Hearing these words might leave you sad, shocked, hurt, or with other feelings. Here's Emily. Here's her friend Josanna. Here's Tina. Tina's walking away. Tina's mom said that she's not allowed to play with Emily anymore because Emily has a parent who's in jail. Is that a nice thing for Tina's mom to say? Is it Tina's fault? No, it's not Tina's fault. I bet Tina wants to stay there and play. But she's got to do what her mom tells her to do. Emily's friend Josanna says, "Don't worry, Emily. I will always be your friend." Emily feels grateful to have a friend like Josanna. You think Tina and Emily will become friends again later? I hope so. Now, sometimes if your parent is in jail, you act differently. Not just your friends acting towards you, but you act differently. Here's Atian. After his father is gone, Atian starts acting up in class. He was always proud of following school rules, but now he's in trouble all the time. He even fights with his best friend. There's Atian. He looks angry. He's yelling and pointing at his friend. Now, is it okay to have feelings? Yes. Your feelings are yours. They belong to you. Your feelings live in your body, and you are the boss of your body. Is it okay to feel angry? Yes. Is it okay to feel scared? Yes. Is it okay to have some new feelings that you don't even know the names for? Yes. Is it okay to yell at people and pick fights because you feel those ways? No. You gotta find someplace else to put those feelings. You gotta think of some other place to put those feelings. You can find it. You might have to work hard, but you can find it. Here's Xavier. Here's Xavier's mom. Xavier's dad is in the state penitentiary. That's a really big prison. Don't tell anybody, his mother says. So Xavier doesn't speak at all. He becomes totally quiet. He just stops talking. He used to share stories and jokes that his dad told him. But now he's scared. He might tell the secret. I see Xavier here. What are these other kids doing? I see this kid throwing a ball. I see these kids playing in the dirt. I see these kids running. What's Xavier doing? Nothing. Can't play? Just standing there feeling worried. Even when you think nothing can get better, things can change. That's always true. And sometimes you can help make changes. One way is telling someone how you feel. Juana tells her foster mother, here's Juana, and that's her foster mother. Foster mother means someone who is not the family that you were born in, but she's someone that you live with and she acts like your mother. Juana tells her foster mother how upset she feels with her family scattered all over. Her foster mother lets Juana call each of her siblings. So I see this is an interesting picture. It's got a line right down the middle. And on one end of this table, I see Juana talking on the phone. And on this end, I see these two kids. Do you think those are Juana's sisters? Mm-hmm. Now, are they really at one table or are they really far apart? They're far apart. But when they talk on the phone, they feel like they're all sitting at the same table. I told you I have some members of my family who were adopted. Their mom and their dad got in trouble and had to go to jail. And they had to go live with somebody in my family who acted as their foster mother and their foster father. And they made a home for them. And now they still get to call and sometimes even visit with their brother and with their sister and sometimes even with their mother. It's true. Things can change. Atian tells his teacher how frustrated he feels with his father gone. Frustrated. Have you heard that word before? If you've been in my story times, you've heard that word before. What does frustrated mean? Do you feel like, ee! Ooh! Why won't this work? Why won't they listen? Frustrated. He feels frustrated. He can't make anything seem to work right. Something's missing. His dad is missing. His dad is not at home. His dad is in jail. Atian tells his teacher how frustrated he feels with his father gone. Atian says, 3 years in prison for him isn't fair to me. What do you think about that? A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that putting people in jail does not help. Because when you put somebody in jail, you take them away from other people. Jermaine talks to his grandpa about the boys on his team. Remember Jermaine? He always feels better after grandpa listens. A lot of people feel better when they talk and someone just listens to them. Do you feel like that? Do you like it when people just listen to hear what you have to say? I do. A lot of people do. Some people go and talk to a counselor or a therapist, someone who just listens to what they have to say. It's very helpful for a lot of people. Sometimes if you try to hold in a secret for a long time, that secret can get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it can make you sick. It can make you feel bad. It can make you do all kinds of things that you don't want to do. That's why talking to people about your feelings is so important, because that's how you let that stuff out. Give it some space to breathe. Do you know what I mean? Here's Lacey. Do you remember Lacey from the very beginning of the book? Lacey tells Mama Jen how much she misses Mommy. Now, Lacey has 2 mommies. This is her mommy Jen. And Mama Jen takes Lacey for a visit. She's going to go visit her mom in jail. Lacey feels fearful. She feels afraid. Going inside tall fences, hearing doors lock behind them. That sounds very scary. You'd have to be very brave to do that. You know what being brave means? Being brave means that you are scared, but you do it anyway. In this prison, Lacey can hug Mommy twice. 2 times. At the beginning of the visit and at the end. That's the rule. No more than that. Just 2 times. Mommy sings their special bedtime song, and now Lacey sings it every night. Do you have a special song that you like to sing or you like to hear at bedtime? Some people call that a lullaby. Not everyone can visit. The jail or prison may be far away, or traveling there may cost too much money. That's true. Another way to stay close is by talking on the phone or sending emails or letters. Xavier's dad calls him on the phone. After they talk, Xavier feels great. He doesn't have to keep secrets from his dad. Remember, Xavier did not want to talk to anybody. When his dad calls, he can say everything he's been holding inside. How wonderful.
But don't even lie.
And here's Rashid. Remember, Rashid was very angry. Rashid is still too angry to talk on the phone with his mom. Maybe next time she calls, he'll be ready. Raphael mails a picture he drew to his papa. He hopes Papa will send him a drawing too. Oh, I see a lot of pictures here that Raphael's been working on. Raphael's drawing a new one right now. Do you like to draw pictures? Would you like to get a picture that somebody else drew? I like both. I like drawing and I like getting a picture. Now here's Yen. Remember we said we would see Yen again too. She was writing a letter to her mom with a lot of questions.
I don't want.
Yen likes writing letters. Her mother wrote back and answered every question. Do you want to hear what was in that letter that Yen got from her mom? The letter says, "My sweet Yen, I'm here because I broke the law." Remember we talked about what that means. It means that you broke a rule and a police officer had to come and you had to go to jail. I will be here until you are 12 years old. It's a long time. It is not your fault. I will never stop loving you. You and I may be far apart, but you're always close to me in my heart. Is that a good letter to get? That sounds like a very good letter. The end. Thank you so much for reading that book with me. Did you like that book? I like that book a lot. I feel like it's very helpful sometimes when you have a lot of feelings and you aren't sure if anybody else has ever had those feelings. You aren't sure if you should have those feelings. You aren't sure if you should have all those feelings at once or what those feelings are called. I like books a lot for that reason. Sometimes books can help you see how you feel. Can help you hear how you feel. Now before we go, I just want to talk to you a little bit more. One time when I was reading this book in story time in one of my classes, I was talking about how when my mom's boyfriend went to jail when I was a kid, older than you are now but not a grown-up yet, when my mom's boyfriend went to jail, I felt sad. And I think that I cried. And a girl in my class raised her hand and said, "Mr. Channing, I didn't cry when my dad went to jail." Is it okay to cry when someone you love goes to jail? Is it okay to not cry? Your feelings belong to you. I felt complicated when my mom's boyfriend went to jail because sometimes he acted like a bully to me when he was at home. Sometimes he acted like a bully to my mom when he was at home. But still, I loved him because in my home with my mom, he was like my dad. Do you know what I mean? And I was worried that he would get treated like he did not matter. Did you know that everybody matters? Doesn't matter where you are, what you do, if you broke a rule or if you did not break a rule. You matter. Everybody matters. And I want you to know, if you have a loved one or a grown-up or a member of your family in jail right now, you might be worried that they're being treated like they don't matter, and you might be worried that they might get sick too. It's okay to worry about it. It's okay to talk to a grown-up about how you feel. And I want you to know that there are grown-ups and some young people who are working right now to make sure that people in jail get treated like they matter, to make sure people get out of jail when they are supposed to make sure that people are safe, and to make sure people are healthy. There are people helping right now to make sure that everybody matters. Thank you very much for reading this book with me. This book is called Far Apart, Close in Heart, Being a Family When a Loved One is Incarcerated. I'm so glad you were here to read it with me. I will see you next time.